It's Social Pulse Weekly, brought to you by Agorapulse. With a slew of amazing guests this week, including Kim Garst, Ian Cleary, Brian Fanzo, Jen Herman, Judy Fox, Tony Christensen, Stephanie Liu, Owen Video, Scott Ayers, Jessica Phillips, and Bella Vasta. With your host, Jennifer Watson. Here's Social Pulse Weekly.
Woo! Hey guys, happy Friday and welcome to our year-end finale show for 2019. And we actually still though have one show next Friday with the amazing Jay Bear, but this is kind of our year-end wrap-up. It's a 2-hour show. So usually we go about close to an hour, sometimes a little over an hour. Today, it's going to be a full 2-hour show, and we have 10 plus guests with us today. It's going to be amazing. They're going to be sharing the biggest announcements of 2019, what they've learned, the biggest trends of 2019, and how to prep us and get us ready for 2020 and their predictions for the next decade. So welcome everyone. And with that said, we want to see and welcome you guys to actually tell us what you think is going to happen in 2020, your predictions, and also let us know, what your biggest things were that you accomplished in 2019 as well. It's been a heck of a year for myself, for a lot of people. We've done a lot of things. And so we want to know, first of all, who you are, where you're from, what do you do, and your biggest achievement of 2019. Now, this is how this show is going to go. So it is a conversation. We want you to be able to ask questions, but it's kind of a rapid fire show. So we do have 10 plus guests. And what's going to happen is we're going to bring each guest on separately. They have 10 minutes for us to have that conversation about their predictions and what they thought the biggest trends of 2019 were. And then they're going to leave us sadly, and then we're going to bring up the next guest. So it's going to be really exciting rapid fire. I have my timer clock here. Isn't this awesome? I got this from Amazon, where we're going to time it out for everyone for 10 minutes. So we have the amazing Kim Garst joining us as our first guest. And I want to talk to you a little bit quickly about Kim Garst. She's an international best-selling author, international keynote speaker, and one of the world's most retweeted people among digital marketers and a highly sought-after marketing strategist. Kim is also internationally recognized as a thought leader in the social media space. Forbes named her as one of the top 10 social media power influencers. Isn't that amazing? She has provided social and digital marketing advice to some of the world's top brands like Microsoft, IBM, and MasterCard, as well as hundreds of thousands of others. So, Kim, we are so excited to have you. So, welcome to the show. And thank you so much for being here. And before we begin, hold on. We're going to set the timer, guys. We've got 10 minutes and on the clock. And here we go. All right, Kim. So this is going to be a quick conversation. I can't wait to have you on a full show, though, in 2020. Let us know. It's been a wild year, I think. And thinking back to 2010, when the decade first started, to 2019, so much has changed in the social media space, even in the last year. Tell us, and we can even talk about the last decade too, but tell us, what you thought the biggest changes were in social media over this decade, and then what some of the biggest trends in 2019.
First, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. And obviously I will talk fast because I know we have just a minute window. So some of the things that we saw in 2019, one could argue were predictable because everybody was talking about them. I think video is absolutely not just something that a lot of people embraced, although there's still some that haven't. And when I say video, I mean, even pre-designed video also is not just the go live types of content. But I feel like video content absolutely was powerful in 2019. From a marketing standpoint, Facebook ads continue to grow. Something that I think is a little bit surprising, it certainly was to me, was the fact that Facebook rolled back around and said, hey, groups are going to be a huge part of our focus in 2019 and going forward. Groups are not something that has been, that's new. It's not a new shiny object. It's not a new platform. It's not a new tool. It's not a new thing. It's been around for a long period of time. But the fact that Facebook is saying, hey, listen, we're really going to key in on groups and really develop those out and give you more resources and more tools. Other things that really aren't a surprise, obviously, is messaging apps are continuing to boom. Messenger bots, more and more people are leveraging those, trying to leverage them, if you will, in their marketing efforts. The power of the one-on-one conversation, I would say that is absolutely probably one of my biggest personal benefits as a part of my social strategy over the course of the year. And what I mean by that is, leveraging the power of content to facilitate those one-on-one conversations, specifically in Instagram. I found a lot of power in DM conversations, from story content or otherwise, but bringing those conversations into a private environment where we can connect on a deeper level. So the power of those one-on-one conversations are huge. And I really think that probably one of the biggest surprises, and I would speculate that a lot of your guests today will talk about this, was probably TikTok. It is one of those platforms that I personally haven't embraced. I'm not sure yet that I will, simply because, it's kind of like Snapchat. Snapchat, not that they are alike. I don't mean it like that, but I mean it in the concept of, is my person there? Is my ideal client on Snapchat? And I would say the same for my interest or lack of, or watching it. I'm watching TikTok just to see, because it is a powerful phenomena. And I'm always about checking those things out and seeing if there's a space for me to step in from a marketing perspective. I'm just not sure yet that my ideal client is there. And I'm struggling a little bit with what types of content that I would personally share on TikTok. But that said, it is a huge phenomena. So many people are embracing it. The views are through the roof. It's just really an interesting dynamic. It reminds me sort of when, live video first started. That was a huge phenomena, with Meerkat and then Periscope. And, of course, now we have a lot of social platforms. So it's just really interesting to see the evolution. I've said for years that the only constant, if you will, in social media is change. And we've certainly seen a lot of that.
My gosh, Kim, I love you. We have 5 minutes left on the timer. And I want to give a couple of shout out to everyone that's watching. Alex Mitchell says she loves your energy. It's infectious.
Thank you, Alex.
And we also love your wardrobe. We love that sweatshirt. It looks amazing. We have Vincent Orlick that has joined us. Vincent, I want to know what your predictions are for the next decade. He's a little stressed out about that, it looks like, with his little emoji there. We have Josh joining us. Jacob is also joining us as well. Ian Cleary, he just commented he's here, and he's actually up next after you. Raquel Ariel is here. So this is, I'm so excited for everyone that's joining us. Eugene, thank you for being here as well. So Kim, so we've got about 4.5 minutes left. What are you mainly going to focus on in 2020? And then what are your predictions, do you think, actually, for the next decade are?
Well, I can't believe that I'm saying this because LinkedIn has been my least favorite social platform for years. I go in once every few months and, I just haven't paid as much attention to it. It's not that I don't think it's value-based. I just haven't put a lot of emphasis on LinkedIn. And I find myself falling in love with LinkedIn. We applied for LinkedIn Live, and it took several times of applying, but I finally got it and started to leverage it. And I'm super excited about it because a lot of the social platforms already have have had live video. So live video is a new phenomena. So sort of, not a lot of people have it, have access to it. So there's not a lot of live content being created on LinkedIn. And those that do have it are enjoying a lot of engagement and a lot of visibility and reach that kind of is reminiscent of the early days of, for me anyway, of Periscope, because, Periscope, when we first got started, was like, oh my gosh, crazy. I was one of the early adopters there. And so it kind of reminds me of that, so the opportunity, I think, for LinkedIn in 2019 and 2020 is going to be a great opportunity. So I would suggest that if you are doing live video, that, or if you're not, that you should absolutely go try to sign up, get LinkedIn Live, and see where it takes you, because I think it's a wonderful opportunity as an early adopter for that platform. Other things that I'm really going to be focusing on, I feel like the short life content, things like Instagram and Facebook stories are going to be so impactful, simply because they do drive those one-on-one conversations. Almost every time I do an Instagram story, I have the opportunity to host or have multiple one-on-one conversations. And I really believe that social is going in that direction. For years, it's been kind of put a bunch of content out, and whoever bumps into it or, engages with it, it's who it is. But I really feel like that's going to be a huge opportunity in 2020. It's certainly been a part of, the journey for 2019. I think it'll continue. Absolutely video, whether it's pre-created or live, although I would lean towards the live video as a medium for really connecting with your viewers and ultimately building deeper relationships. But another thing that I'm seeing personally on my side is I've had an outpouring of influencer outreach. So, there's a lot of people that are, of course, talking about influencer outreach or influencer marketing being more powerful in 2020. And I would just say that I absolutely believe that to be true, just based off of my own experience so far. So influencer marketing is on the rise. And when I say influencer marketing, I don't think you have to be a macro influencer to take advantage of this phenomena. There's a lot of mini influencers or nano influencers that are, able to take advantage of this. And a lot of brands are looking to those smaller communities, smaller connected communities as well. So keep your eyes open for that.
Oh my gosh, Kim, you nailed it. You literally have 15 seconds left to go. So this is awesome. I know. And we've got Jenny Brennan. Jenny, I think you're 4 hours ahead of us. She's in Ireland. And so it's in the evening. So cheers, for your workday being done. But she says you look nice and snug in the hoodie. And she said 100% of people need connection on social. Which is so awesome. But Kim, thank you seriously so much for joining us. Now, let everyone know how they can follow you, find you, hire you, all that stuff.
Sure. You can find some great free content on my blog, which is kimgarst.com/blog. You can find me on all the socials under my name, Kim Garst, with the exception of Facebook. I'm Kim Garst Biz, B-I-Z, on my fan page. So connect with me. I'd love to hear from you. Tweet me, Facebook me, across the board. I'd love to talk with you.
Awesome. Kim, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. And we'll be talking with you again next year.
Good luck and rock this show, girl.
Oh my God. Thank you. Bye, Kim.
Bye.
All right, guys. So our next guest is the amazing Ian Cleary. Ian is here with us. Oh my God. I love you, Ian. This is amazing.
I've got the Agorapulse top on.
I know. I should have worn my Agorapulse hoodie. I don't know what I was
I'll tell you a funny story, though. I didn't have it on. Then I seen Kim had it on. I had to run down to the house to put it on. So,
oh my God.
Sorted now.
I love it. So it's just those that don't know Ian, though you should, he's a tech marketer, a keynote speaker, basically anything having to do with social media marketing. He is your guy. So Ian, first of all, tell us where you are and what time it is where you are.
Sure. I'm in Dublin. It's pitch dark here, but it's about 7 in the evening, 7:15 in the evening. So.
Oh my gosh. And where are you live from here? I see you're
in my office. Room. I know it looks a bit like a sauna, but I'm in my office.
Yeah, it does look like a nice relaxing sauna. That's amazing. All right, so I'm going to start the timer. We have I have this is like an egg cooker timer.
Yeah, that's it. And
It's
10 minutes, that's
fancy.
it. We don't get extensions or nothing. It's 10 minutes and we're out.
It is, and we're
Oh,
actually in time. So I'm going to start
even
it
Kim
right now.
Garst didn't get extra time.
I know. Yeah, we started Kim just like a little bit early. But anyway, so everyone for joining us, thank you so much for being here. And Jenny, I think, is on your time zone too. So
Jenny is absolutely. Hey, Jenny.
yeah, you guys are amazing. So Ian, let's talk about 2019. And first of all, what you thought like the biggest surprises were. And as we went through the year, people were like, oh my gosh, like what did they freak out about? And how did you, what did you focus on personally as well when it came to social media marketing for you?
Okay, well, I mean, everything that Kim said. So I agree with everything that Kim said. So Kim got in first. I suppose one thing we see, and we've seen more and more of this, is people moving to more private groups. There's a lot more private groups into likes of WhatsApps and Viber and Facebook groups. And that's where a lot of the communication is happening now. So that's where we're focusing more on in terms of the pages, the Facebook pages and this broadcasting out to people just doesn't work nearly as good anymore. Facebook came out, Mark Zuckerberg came out and said that, you know, what they're going to focus on is actually meaningful conversations. So it's not about the numbers as much anymore. It's more about, are you generating good conversations with your audience? And that's what we're focusing on and telling businesses we work with to focus on. I met somebody the other day and they said, I'm at 9,500 fans. I'm really struggling to get 10,000 fans. How do I get to 10,000? And I said, don't try and get to 10,000. Try and get more engagement with the people that you are connected with. Who cares about the numbers? It's that engagement. And it's all about meaningful connections now. So unless you're having that conversation and interactions with people, there's no point anymore. So that's where Mark Zuckerberg is moving towards. So that's a lot of what we're focusing on.
So Ian, what social channel do you personally focus on, and with your business do you focus on and find the most success?
LinkedIn, you know, and I heard just Kim mention about LinkedIn as well. So we've worked with a lot of B2B type businesses, and you have a ready-made platform full of B2B businesses. And the key thing about LinkedIn is not reaching out with an impersonal message. And then when they do establish a connection with somebody, then it's going straight into marketing. You have to provide lots of value like any other platforms before you start jumping in and say, right, I want to sell you something. Because we see it every day where somebody connects and then they sell, and that's what you need to avoid. So there's a bit of patience involved in building up your network. Really we use like the LinkedIn paid tools to help us identify a really good audience. But then we'd reach out and we'd connect, and our goal is to have a conversation. It's not a sale, it's a conversation. If we can get into a conversation with somebody, then they'll get to know us, get to know our business, and we'll get to know theirs. And then there's potential of doing business. So I'd say to people, be patient with LinkedIn, but it's definitely a super channel, you know, if you're selling into businesses.
So personally for you, for next year, what channels are you going to focus on? Is it going to continue to be LinkedIn? And also, what about your ad strategy? What are you going to focus on there?
Okay, well, I mean, I think we'll continue to focus on LinkedIn. But one of the things I find very interesting as a trend coming up is really social commerce. So there's going to be a lot more selling on social platforms. And if you look at this year, what's happening, you see that Facebook Pay was recently announced, and that's for sharing money between friends, but also buying products. And we've seen that Facebook is talking about a cryptocurrency. So Facebook are building an infrastructure for social commerce, for selling through social platforms. So we'll definitely be looking at that in 2020 and see what that is going. In terms of advertisement, LinkedIn advertisement is just far too expensive. You'd want to be selling really expensive products, be worth your while. But I still like Facebook ads, you know, and we're doing a lot in terms of video, short videos within Facebook ads, building up a custom audience, and then retargeting people at a later stage there, with more videos.
Oh, nice. And so we've got I love all of that, Ian. And LinkedIn ads are expensive. Terry
Yeah.
Johnson says conversations are the goal, not likes. Very true. And she said also, yes, you have to be super patient in growing your online presence. And Kim Garst also says yes on good conversations. Great point, Ian. Quality content, yes, says Alex. And let's see, Brian Fanzo says unfair advantage. Ian is a genius and has an accent. He is up after you. So yes, I do love
you.
I do love your accent, Ian. It's pretty fantastic. And I think everyone else does too. So we are halfway through. So we have 5 minutes left.
No extensions, Jennifer, no?
Yeah. And so I want to talk about, okay, so we know what you're focusing on for 2020, but let's say you've got a solo social media manager working for a company, or maybe they're an entrepreneur. You know, what should they focus on? I know we're building relationships, but if they seem overwhelmed, how should they start? Let's go there.
Well, it's to start. It's really identifying who's your real target audience. And like I said, it's not really about building huge amount of fan base. And you might look at other people and see, oh, these people are creating thousands of fans, but you don't focus on that. Focus on a small engaged audience. I remember when I started out, when I got an email subscriber, I actually send a response to every single email subscriber, a personal response. And that was a great way of building a community, because I was learning a lot about subscribers and building a relationship, because social doesn't always have to be Facebook, Twitter, fans, followers. Social is just about interacting with your audience. So it's having conversations. Where you have them conversations, up to you. For me, I was being social by having conversations over email. So it's building that small audience, getting that engagement to small audience, and looking for feedback from that audience to help grow your business. But don't focus on the big numbers. You know, it's not about 1,000 or 5,000 fans. It's maybe about like 50 fans that really love your content. And Brian, who's listening in here, is great at this, at building those audiences and telling people about getting that engagement with the audience, not just blasting a message out to everybody.
That's so true. And Ian, so we've got almost 3 minutes left. So what are your predictions for, let's say, 2020 in the next decade? Where do you think we're going? Are there going to be more social platforms, less? For marketers, what do you think we're going to be really concentrating on? I know we got the meaningful relationships, but what do you think?
I definitely think there's going to be more social platforms. That's going to continue to increase. So I think there'll be more niche social platforms where it's a smaller number of people in particular audiences based on what people are interested in. So that's definitely going to increase. I think social commerce is a big thing. We've talked about social commerce for many years, but you look at what Mark Zuckerberg is doing. He's building the infrastructure. He's setting up Facebook Pay. He's setting up the virtual currency. He is about to launch very soon social commerce. He's been looking to see what's happening in China, and he's basically copying off that. So that is definitely going to be a big thing. I think voice search is going to be huge. So there's going to be a lot more applications based around voice, as we're all moving towards voice, and lots of opportunities in devices like Alexa or Google Home, stuff like that. I think for businesses, there's going to be a lot more on-premise social. For example, if you're in a hotel, I think you're going to be interacting a lot more in a social way through a hotel, so on-premise social is going to be a big thing. And as Kim said, chatbots is going to grow. It was interesting seeing the social media marketing or social media examiner report that chatbots didn't grow as much in terms as expected, but I think there's a huge growth opportunity there that's going to continue to grow. So lots of great things happening.
And I love that you mentioning chatbots, because for me, still when I see a chatbot, I'm like, it's computer, it's not a real person. I don't care, but they're starting to get better and better. And Kelly Noble Mirabella is probably the chatbot messenger bot queen. Like, she's very good at customizing things, and there are clever ways to do it. But I think it's still hard, even because for me, getting past that barrier and making it amazing and awesome. So
just one tip for a small business, your chatbot should be just Messenger on your website and have no automation at all when you're starting off, and just be there to interact and chat with somebody. Over time, you can develop and do some basic automation, so you can ask some basic questions, but really you want to have conversations with people. So don't automate everything at all.
That's actually great advice. And we've got Mitch Jackson, who's listening to us while he's running. So Mitch, thank you so much. You're so wonderful and amazing. And I think Mitch is on the West Coast. I don't know if he can text while he's running. But yes. So Ian, we have 20 seconds left. So please tell everyone where they can reach you, follow you, hire you, all that kind of good stuff.
Brilliant. Well, if you go to razorsocial.com, that's where I hang out, or come to Dublin, Ireland. We'll have a drink and then you can hire me over a drink. But no, or it's so www.razorsocial.com or at Ian Cleary. You can get me on Twitter as well. Thanks very much, Jennifer, for having me on the show. Delighted to be here.
Oh, Ian, thank you so much too. And Kim also said, use chatbots to start the conversation. Great tip. She thought that was fantastic.
Kim's
so
awesome.
Ian, thank you so much. Love the sweatshirt, and we'll be talking with you soon. Bye, Ian. Okay, so our next up is Mr. Brian Fanzo. He's a pager-wearing millennial, international keynote speaker, and kind of an all-around pretty awesome guy. He's got a lot of yellow paper behind him. He's got his fresh hat on. So, Brian, I know you've been listening to Kim and Ian. So let's get right to it. Let's talk to you. Okay. Let's talk to you about the past decade and also the biggest trends of 2019. We started off in 2010 and now look at us now, which is kind of scary to think of what the next decade is going to hold. But tell us what you thought the biggest trends were in 2019.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. You look beautiful, by the way. And I think, Kim and Ian hit it home on a lot of different marks as far as personalization, conversation, lots of change. I, for one, have been studying TikTok for well over a year. And for me, it has a lot less to do with TikTok. It has a lot more to do with the future of social media, understanding interactions, conversations, the fact that police officers, military, stay-at-home moms, teachers, guidance counselors are on social media and having fun for the first time on a platform that is owned by a Chinese company, I think is an interesting trend. I think over the last 10 years, we've used social media to get further and further away from our customers. We didn't want them calling us. Then we didn't want them just going to our site. So we added an email client. Then we said chatbots. And then we said, oh, we just want followers. And then we just want likes. And then we realized that we build no trust. We have no conversations. Therefore, there's no brand authority, no loyalty. And now we're in this weird spot where if we currently aren't loyal or I'd say trust any brands. We're at a spot now where brands have the opportunity to create trust like never before. They also have the opportunity probably for the first time to compete no matter what your size is. You can be a Fortune 500 company or a big brand and operate on social now with a startup style voice. If you look at the brands like Aviation Gin with what they did against the Peloton ad and so on. And so you can have big brands that are now being personal. You can have small brands that have a team of 3 that can actually have the reach of big brands. So I think social media has leveled the playing field, but it's also destroyed the playing field, in my opinion, for all of us that are marketing more than we are having conversations. We also are realizing now we're having a lot harder time building that trust over time. So I think one of the trends that I'm excited to see is putting the human face back on social media. I believe employee advocacy is going to take off. We've been saying that for 5 years, but let's face it, most brands haven't trusted their employees, and that's the hard truth. Influencer marketing has proven the fact that we don't trust a brand, we don't trust a logo, but we trust people that look like us. My tagline is that the future of marketing is relatability. And I think TikTok's a perfect example of things that work on TikTok is jumping on trends, interacting with other people, and putting a human face on your brand and having fun. The Washington Post, the USA Today. I was just connecting with a shoe brand and a sunglass company that I had never heard of, but their TikToks got into my space based on their interactivity within those apps. So I think 2019 is the year that we can all kind of come back and realize that we screwed up a lot as far as marketing and leveraging this digital world. And I think if we all right now stopped trying to grow any following and started interacting with our current followers that we have right now and turning our customers into power customers, our power customers into influencers, we would be amazed how quickly we could change our businesses with marketing.
And if you're not following Brian on TikTok, you need to, because Scott Ayers says Brian rapping on TikTok is worth the price of admission. He also says you're rocking the Abe Lincoln look. Yeah, Scott, we love it. And Vincent Orlick says there's so many good TikTok accounts. So Vincent, I want you to comment in here if you can, what your favorite TikTok accounts are, so we can all follow them. And the hashtags too, because it's a hashtag Blue Line.
Hashtag Blue Line, yeah, what the police officers use. But I mean, and it's also one that, there's different trends every day, which I think is also interesting from a social media perspective. And let's face it, nobody gets on social media today excited about the conversations that are happening on Twitter. I don't even get excited anymore to interact on Instagram, which I would have said I would have a year ago. I love LinkedIn because there's a business value, but I can't say I get excited about LinkedIn. But TikTok has had me excited, and I can tell you it's leading me to have more brand affinity for the brands that are on there than I would have ever imagined on any other platform.
So what platform do you get most of your business on or from?
LinkedIn's still it. I mean, LinkedIn for me. But funny enough, a lot of brands that work with me, I was actually the meeting I had yesterday. I'm working with a cool event called Social Shakeup, which is happening in May of 2020. And a lot of our conversation was about this idea where, how do you, what brands and agencies really are looking for right now are ways to connect at a deeper level with individuals. And so funny enough, LinkedIn is where I attract those that are hiring me, but they are hiring me oftentimes because of the interactions that I have on Instagram and on TikTok. But the truth is, the place that I'm doubling down on moving forward is podcasting. 2020 will be the year for me. I have 3 podcasts at the moment. That'll change. Some of them might go away. There might be some rebranding in that as well. But I'm looking to me, podcasting is the most intimate platform there is in the world. It allows the audience member to paint the picture of what you're telling, not us, the creator, dictating the way someone actually visualizes something. And I think the more we have screen time, the more interactions we have, the more distractions we have. Podcasting, it's been around for forever. And everyone, it's not like this is a new craze, but I believe now it's no longer about educating people on what a podcast is. It's now helping them find quality podcasts that aren't just interview shows that happen every week.
Oh, that's true. I love that. So really quick, Scott Ayers said JT _
Oh, yes. The JT Way. That's the one I was telling you about, Jen. JT Way is an amazing movement that he's happening over there on Twitter. I mean, the guy's from Utah, and he had hundreds of people fly out for a meetup. And the entire thing of his meetup is helping people smile and not feel alone. And that's happening on TikTok. Him and his wife are doing some amazing things over there.
So we've got about 2.5 minutes left. What do you think about smart technology? When it comes to Alexa and starting something there, what do you think that's going to look like in the next year or even couple of years?
It's like you have an inside track to my business model in the future, Jennifer. I think one of the things we have to think about as marketers is, how do I interact with my audience where they currently are without being disruptive, but providing value? And value doesn't mean you have to sell them. Value can be solving a problem. Value can be gently reminding them that you're still around. And so for me, I think audio is the answer. I'm working on audio clips to put out into a full audio push in 2020, where you could, during your morning in the shower, maybe not in the shower, but maybe your morning routine, you can listen to a motivational tip every day from me, something like that. I think there's a place when we're looking, I think when you look at TikTok is not about the app. It's not about lip syncing. It's not even about creating content on TikTok. What we have to ask ourselves is, the average user on TikTok, which now has more downloads than Facebook and Instagram, is spending 50 minutes a day, 50 minutes a day on TikTok. My average is 1 hour and 44 minutes a day. So I'm pushing the average up. I didn't do that in high school. I was always the kid that brought the average down. Jennifer, you're the one that ruined the curve for all of us. But if we think about that, people are on this app, not just creating content, but they are interacting and engaged for 50 minutes a day. Where else can we find that? And if it's, an audio update in the morning, if it's a chat, I loved Ian Cleary's comment about having conversations on your website. A chatbot doesn't mean it needs to be automated. And I think with all the data we have today, there's no excuse for us to say we don't understand our customer. What we need to learn is, if we understand our customer, how can we provide them value without disrupting them, without pissing them off, and really without alienating, which I think almost all of our social media channels right now, for the most part, the content brands are putting out does more harm than it does good. And I'm a guy that loves creating content.
I love you so much, Brian, but we're out of time.
I know.
You're amazing, though.
I said I was going to answer one word at a time, but you knew that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, no, this is very true. So really quick, though, Vincent shared who he follows on TikTok or his favorite accounts. Kim and I think everyone else is wondering who you follow on TikTok. So
Vincent and I go back and forth on a regular basis inside of TikTok. So a lot of ones that he said are ones that I will 100% agree with.
Okay, perfect. And if after this, if you can maybe comment too on some other ones that are pretty awesome, that'd be amazing. So Brian, where can everybody reach you and hire you to speak potentially?
And Judy Fox, who's coming up, she's good on TikTok as well. Rachel Peterson, another one of the social media people, is good over there on TikTok. Consistency is important. iSocialFans everywhere. iSocialFans.com is my website. And then my speaker site is brianfanzo.com if you want to hire me to speak. But this is a lot of fun. Thank you, Jen, for having me. Thank you, Agora Pulse, for putting it on. You're beautiful, babe. Have a great one.
Okay, bye. You guys, I kind of know Brian kind of well. But anyway, so our next guest is the amazing Jen's Trends, or Jen Herman. She's there. She's live from the West Coast, California. Jen, it is still morning where you are, where some people are joining us from Ireland, and it's the evening and they're celebrating. And they've got the alcohol. It's wonderful. So guys,
I went down on that bandwagon. Can I get the alcohol going now too?
You can. You totally can. So guys, Jen is amazing. She's working on her third book, which is incredible. And maybe you can talk about that. Maybe you can't. I'm not sure. But she's written 2 books already. She is probably the world's biggest expert on Instagram. She's incredible. So Jen, let's focus on Instagram just a little bit and the biggest changes and announcements this year. And I know,
just a long list.
I know it is. So let's talk about the ones, your favorites. And then there were 2 new features you posted about in your awesome Facebook group yesterday that if you're not in her Facebook group, you need to join, and we can talk about that too. Yes, because it's amazing. But Jen, let's talk about that. This past year in Instagram, how did it go?
I'm just also loving that there's like a ticker tape along the bottom just going like Jen Herman, Jen Herman, Jen Herman.
It's a new thing on
shout out to Mike Alton, who's just running the show just like with my name, like just across the ticker tape along the bottom. We love Mike.
Yes.
So yeah, lots of changes on Instagram this year. I think of all the platforms that probably had the most significant changes. One of the big ones that was a big issue, positive, negative, depending on how people think about it, was removing of likes. Mm-hmm. I still see likes, but 7 countries have tested removing likes, and they are in the process of rolling that out in the US and North America. Canada already has it. So a lot of people freaked out and they're like, you're taking away our likes. This is going to be the end of Instagram as we know it. But it hasn't been. Everyone that's seen the likes taken away have not seen any drastic changes to their engagement. So engagement hasn't gone down because the way the platform is built, we're still conditioned to scroll, double tap. We're still conditioned to interact with content in the same way. We're not looking to be like, oh, well, that one got 3,000 likes. I must like it too. And I actually think this is a really good step forward for influencer marketing in the world of Instagram, because it was so easy for people to go out and buy likes, have fake engagement, and then have a brand reach out and be like, sure, we'll give you $5,000 to post about our product with no expectation of ROI, no justification for the that quality of content, who that influencer was. By taking away the likes, it's actually forcing brands to work with influencers who are more aligned with them. They're having to look for influencers who are saying the things that align with their brand, using the same tone of voice, using similar products, and finding relationships, kind of, to a lot of what Brian was talking about, focusing on those relationship side of it more so than just turning around and being like, oh, this person has a lot of likes or a lot of followers, let's just give them the content. So I think that's a really big move forward for Instagram. I think it is a shift that people have to adjust to. Brands are going to have to take ownership of that, and influencers have to take ownership of that. If you were to reach out to me as an influencer, I should be able to show you how many website clicks I generate for other brands, how many pieces of traffic I'm generating, how many pieces of content I'm selling, how many products are going through a cart. All these sorts of things should be tracked by the influencer so that a brand coming to me, I can say, this is what I can do for you, and this is why you should pay me to post your content. And I think that's a good, positive direction for influencer marketing. So that's a good thing. One of the other big changes, IGTV made a lot of changes this year. It rolled out June of last year, so it's been a year and a half. They are still trying to push it. They're still trying to keep it alive, let's say. And I don't think IGTV is going away. It's not a bad thing. It's not going down. They did release the option to have that 1-minute preview in the feed. And that was catalytic to the success of IGTV. I'd been saying from day one, they needed to find a better way to integrate IGTV within the app itself. And by allowing that 1-minute preview, people's views are going up. They're getting longer retention on their videos. They're getting more traffic over on IGTV. So if you're not currently using IGTV, you're definitely going to want to think about that. Instagram stories, OMG, how many updates were there? Like, I think every week there's been a story update for us, so I couldn't possibly list them all. But they changed the camera, the kind of the user interface a little bit. They did, add a bunch of new stickers and new features. They just came out with a new one yesterday, which is a grid that's called Layout. So now when you scroll along the bottom in stories, you can go to Layout. So you can actually do like different grid options. So you can have 2 photos, 4 photos, 6 photos. Or photos and videos all mixed into one. So I haven't really seen it, just rolled out yesterday. I haven't seen that be really put into effect, but be cautious about that, because if you do like 6 photos or videos in one story, they're going to be really small. But yeah, so lots of big things coming for stories. It is really the push. I mean, we've seen Facebook push stories. Instagram has obviously been pushing stories for a long time. So we're going to continue to see more integration, more things that we can do within Instagram stories. One of their big things that came out this year was creator profiles for Instagram. So we had personal, we had business, and they came out with creator. When they did that, they took away the requirement to link your Instagram account to a Facebook page. So you can now have an Instagram business profile and not link it to a Facebook business page, or you can do a creator profile. I am not the biggest fan of the creator profiles. I've been, very kind of openly, loud, you could probably say about that, because it doesn't allow third-party tool integration. So you can't use Agorapulse. You can't schedule your content. You can't use analytics and things like that from a third-party tool as a creator profile. And the advantages that are currently available on creator profiles are not significant enough for me to want to leave being a business profile and lose that third-party integration, because let's face it, we all love our Agorapulse integration. So yeah, those are probably, and then dark mode. Dark mode was another big one. A lot of people love dark mode. I am not. If you can't tell by the lighting in this room, I want to be like retina searing blindness at all times. So I don't like dark mode, but a lot of people do. And so but a lot of people didn't think this was a big deal, but I want you to think about how your content looks in dark mode versus the regular mode, because Instagram was built on a white platform. And if you're used to creating content with a white background and white surrounding it, it might pop and look a certain way on white, and it may look completely different against that dark background that we're now seeing in dark mode. So depending on how you're creating your content, you may want to look at that and see if there's little adjustments you want to make in your content so that people that are looking in dark mode will still see your content really pop out in the feed. So yeah, that's a lot.
That was Jen. You're down to like less than 2 minutes. We've got like 90 seconds, and I love you so much. No, all
we don't have predictions. I'm just like, there's been so many changes.
I know, this is amazing. Okay, so really quick, Brian said he likes the removal levels, the influencer playing field, and will focus more on comments in a post. He 1,000% agrees with you. Kim Garst wants to start a chant: "Show your shoes, show your shoes." We want to see what shoes you're wearing.
This is embarrassing, but they're technically high heels.
Oh, there you go. I love it. I love it.
And yes, I'm wearing sweatpants because, we got to look good on top and not on the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So many people at local news stations, even national, that's what they do. Okay. Jen, really quick, 60 seconds. Kind of what should people focus on for Instagram to make the most of it in 2020?
My biggest thing across social media, but especially for Instagram, is going to be private conversations, direct messages. When you reply to a story, you're in a DM. When you got threads going on, you got IGTV going on, a lot of things are pulling back into the DMs, and people are getting away from that public facing conversation. There's been a lot of issues around Facebook's privacy and, the way they're handling things publicly. Obviously they own Instagram, so that's kind of tying over. So we really want to look at those private conversations. Reply to people when they reply to your DMs. Don't just like their reply, actually say thank you, ask them a question, generate the dialogue, and build those relationships. Back to what Brian was saying about stop chasing more likes and let's build relationships with the clients and customers and followers we already have. Use the DMs to do that and build those relationships. That is going to catapult your whole Instagram strategy forward in 2020.
Gosh, amen, Jen. I feel like we're going to have you on another show because you're just such a wealth of knowledge. We just need to have you on live and just have you talk. I think that's what everyone kind of needs. Also, Brian is in his Steelers slippers, and also he has sweatpants on. So you got to stay. Yeah. And Jessica also, yes, we'll be talking to you about this, Jessica Phillips, Dark Socials, where it's going. That's what she said. So true. Jen, thank you so much for joining us. You're so amazing. We love you so much. Can you tell everyone where to follow you, find your stuff, your Facebook group, and where to hire you?
Everywhere is Jen's Trends. So Instagram, JENNS_trends. It's all with Jen with 2 N's. Go to Facebook and search Jen's Trends in social media, and you'll find the Facebook group where I share all breaking Instagram news there first, as well as other social media news and updates. And the website is jenstrends.com, where you can find out more about hiring me for consulting, speaking, training, any of those fun things.
And we have, where is it? With so many comments. Jenny Newman said, "What would we do without you?" This is so true. And then Lisa also said, "You're on a roll," which you're always on a roll in your life. So
I love you all. I just want to come hang out and have all you people tell me how amazing I am.
Yes, we're going to have you back on the show in 2020. Don't you worry. That's a prediction that's actually going to come into fruition. So it's happening. Yes. Jen, thank you so much. And we will talk to you soon.
Bye, Jen. Bye, Mike.
Bye. All right, guys. So next up, we have the amazing Judy Fox, and she is, oh my God, and she's wearing her fox ears. Oh my God. So if you guys don't know Judy, so first of all, she's a LinkedIn expert, but she's an expert across all social channels, marketing, anything you could think of, and TikTok. She has a great TikTok account, which you should follow, which we're going to get all that information from you, Judy. But Judy, the funny thing is I've been really bad at starting the timer. I've been so engaged, but I've been keeping on track. So hold on, let's do this. Let's reset it again. We're going to do it.
I see Brian's getting upset that you don't want him on another show.
Oh, I do.
I agree. Jen, Herman, you were just dropping knowledge like nobody's business. And I am on the same page. Messenger is where it's at, also on LinkedIn. So we can talk about that.
Oh my God. Let's talk about
dropping foxes. I love it. Throw me some fox emojis in the DM, or not in the comments.
And if you guys haven't seen Judy speak yet, you need to, because she's just brilliant and amazing. So
we have shared a stage together.
I know we have. Oh my God, you're awesome. Hopefully that happens again in 2020. Let's put that out in the universe.
Yes. Anyone listening?
I'm all about that.
Stay together.
And we want to have you on our show in 2020 as well. But let's talk about LinkedIn and how that's grown over the past year and what personal growth that you found in LinkedIn.
I will say the 2019 growth on LinkedIn really was the fact that LinkedIn rolled out LinkedIn Live. I saw that coming. I think a lot of people saw that coming. Maybe they predicted it earlier, but LinkedIn Live is official. There are beta or early live streamers, and I have been one of them, and it's incredible. I think there's still some, the application process is still very people trying to figure out how do I get LinkedIn Live is still, really relevant. I know a lot of people have asked me, how do I get LinkedIn Live? And my top tips for getting LinkedIn Live: fill out the application and upload video to LinkedIn. Because if you cannot show that you have been a creator, I think it's harder for LinkedIn to see what you're going to talk about on LinkedIn. So if you share your live streams, but they're all on Facebook and you never upload any videos to LinkedIn, that's going to be harder for you to get that credibility with LinkedIn for them to approve your application. So upload video on LinkedIn.
Oh my God, Judy, I love that tip. And so just like it seems like everybody here that's talked at least so far, they get the bulk of their business on LinkedIn. You know, so what tips do you have for your profile, getting business, what you put on the news feed, all of that?
So my number one tip for your profile is start from the top down and do not leave that that banner area at the top. Sell from that. Make it so you're showing yourself on stage. You're showing your book. What is your number one best lead magnet that is selling in your sleep right now? Make sure that is selling you at the top, because right now it can be built as a evergreen lead machine. And I am proof of that. And then my clients are proof of that. It is so powerful because the moment you create content, they'll come over to check out who you are. And I consider them to be a warmed up lead if they have consumed some of your content on a platform, created comments, you show up and they pop on over to your platform. And that's where you should be built to sell. It's that I don't think in the jab, jab, right hook. I think light punch, harder punch, and then knockabout.
Judy, I love how you put that. That's so true. And Alex said, I've seen some prominent marketing firms on LinkedIn Live that do not respond or interact with comments. And so you need to. That's like the whole point. Like we love this interaction and the conversation that's going on right now in the comments. And with that said, we still want to know what your predictions are, everyone that's watching for 2020, and your biggest achievement of 2019, because we want to help celebrate with you. It's the end of a year, at the end of a decade. We want to celebrate you guys because this is all about you and you guys asking questions. So Judy, I love all of that. And so you are also very active on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
What advice do you have for someone that's just starting TikTok? What are any kind of tips that you have?
Well, obviously, I loved what Brian shared about TikTok, and I feel the same way. It's not about too many people are sitting around spending all this time trying to be like, oh, my ideal demographic isn't on TikTok. If you're thinking about being a sustainable business for the next 10 and 20 years, well, then consider that the age range, if you're thinking, okay, the age range that's really active on there, where are they going to be in 10 and 20 years? And in what companies are they going to work? And in which people out of those amazing people that are on that platform, you're completely ignoring an entire sales demographic that is going to grow up. So not only now is when to like grab land, and also the other thing about TikTok is it's actually improved my ability to create more fun videos for LinkedIn. It's just a great place to kind of see what is popular and what pops and how to make good edits and maybe even how to tell a story in a short 1 minute time frame. And that intrigue and that what I call the Easter egg, where you put something surprising or in the first 3 seconds, you grab somebody's attention. Oh my gosh, Jessica, I love that she says I'm the TikTok celeb.
No, you so are.
But I will share that I have seen people and my videos transition from TikTok. So I have one video at 500,000 on TikTok, and I have found a way to repurpose it for LinkedIn because I ended up turning it into a video talking about self-care. Because on LinkedIn's really focused on leveling up themselves professionally or personally. You can take almost any video if you can turn it into a story about a personal or professional journey.
See, I love that. I love everything about that. And we have so many fun comments right now.
Yes.
And so first of all, let's go back to Scott. Scott said that you should start a TikTok account that is just a fox doll doing all the trending dances, this is why we love Scott. Scott is actually a part of the Agorapulse team. He's our content scientist. There's the fox doll, guys, in case
Why
you're
so obsessed with me.
We love you, Scott. And also, yes, Jessica said that you are a celeb on TikTok. Vincent made some good points too. He said, don't be a brand on TikTok. If you're going to be on TikTok, just be on it. Please don't try and sell stuff there, which is so true. And I love the creativity tips because Brian has shown me like these crazy TikTok. They're so creative and it's amazing. And that gets those like creative juices flowing and hopefully makes you more creative personally and for your company. So we are down to like 90 seconds or so.
I never wanted to end, but
I need
person is just bringing the fire. I hope I'm bringing the fox.
You are. No, you're bringing the fox and the fire. So Judy, really quick, in like 90 seconds, can you tell us, or give us any inside info on LinkedIn and where they're headed in 2020 and the next decade?
Well, some of the really, and can I, some of the really hot things that I already see coming up, LinkedIn has already on company pages rolled out the ability to scroll somebody's history of their videos, which is powerful because right now I've heard there's a little bit of a, how can we find all your past videos? How can we consume them like a playlist, like we consume them on YouTube? So that has been rolled out on company pages, maybe not on every company page. And then the other thing is LinkedIn's rolling out more events. So you're able to create an event and invite people to it. And there's coming up with more functionality to make sure your event is seen in your local area. And then the next thing is being able to invite people to your company page. They're really pushing company pages, which sounds interesting. And a lot of people are like, what? You're talking about your personal page? But that, in the first post I ever made in my company page with less than 100 followers, I drove 50 people over to my website. So that's a pretty good conversion rate, I would think. One post, 50 people out of 100.
That's amazing. So. Oh my God, Judy, you're so wonderful. And I'm so sorry we have to let you go, but you are wonderful. We're going to have you on the show in 2020 as well, if you can make it and want to.
I will do that.
Yeah. So tell everyone how to reach you, follow you, see you on TikTok, all that fun stuff.
All right. So the only thing to make sure is the JUDI. So JUDI Fox Rocks is my handle a lot of places. Or if you just want to search the hashtag Fox Rocks, spell it how it sounds.
Awesome. All right, Judy, thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully next time in Virginia, I'm going to come and see you.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Bye. Have a good Friday. All right, guys. So I can't believe we're like practically an hour in. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Thank you everyone for being here, joining us. All the comments, ask questions if you have for the guests. Our next one is Tony Christensen. So Tony is brilliant. Oh my gosh. So I've known Tony for a little bit, but I saw him at Social Media Week Lima, which if you're thinking about conferences you should be going to in 2020, Social Media Week Lima is it. I'll be there. Brian Fanzo will be there. So many people actually that were on the show are going to be there, but Tony had his laptop open and you should have seen all the stats on the ads and everything he was doing. He's like a brilliant mathematician and just, I don't even know. But so Tony does ads. That's his thing. And so Tony, you're amazing. And I'm going to start the timer. I've been really bad at this, but I'm going to start it right now. Let's reset really quick. You probably watched everyone. Okay. So Tony, let's talk about ads. Let's have an ad conversation. What has changed and what trends have you seen over like this past year? And you have clients and all that stuff. So I want to know what the biggest trends and changes, and also maybe what some pieces of content were the most successful or what you saw from your clients.
Yeah, I think the biggest change in terms of being an advertiser on the platform is that they pretty much changed the whole UI, the whole look of the ads platform now for Ads Manager and Business Manager. So it has a very different look. There's also a bunch of changes too, where they keep rolling out a lot of new products, like different like dynamic formats where, you can write a bunch of different headlines and it'll do all the testing kind of for you. There's a lot more of a big push on automation now. But we're also seeing, especially this year, a lot of kind of issues and bugs and stuff affiliated with all of these kind of updates that keep seemingly stacking on top of each other. So it's kind of like, but yeah, there's tons of changes there. There's things now that they're doing with transparency. So they're showing you a lot more about who the advertiser is. It'll write, if I'm writing an ad, like I work for Mobius Media Solutions, if I'm writing an ad for certain clients, it might show that I wrote that ad now. So people can actually see who the agency is that wrote that ad. And there's also things like the Clear History tool that they kind of rolled out now too. So people, there's this big, transparency and privacy issue going on now where people can now go in and clear their history on Facebook. It's not something they've really mentioned a whole lot, but there's tons of different changes going on with everything there. There's also the quality tab now on Pages, so you can actually go in and see what different pages qualities are. So if they, if they're doing a lot more spammy type ads and there's issues there, you can kind of go in and see all that type of stuff, as well as the ads library. So there's just been so many different changes. The ads library, for people that don't know, is where you can kind of go in, you can search anyone that's running ads, and you can see exactly what ads they're running, which is a really cool tool. It's a good competitor kind of research tool, a tool where you can get inspiration there on what's working, what's not working for different people and what they're doing there. So there's just been tons of different changes coming out. I could just keep rambling. I think I'll just throw some more of them out there. Relevant scores have kind of changed too. There used to just be one big relevant score, and now they kind of broke it up into three. There's a quality ranking now, an engagement rate ranking, and a conversion rate ranking. Some other changes too. The mobile ad formatting has changed a little bit now. So where if you're running ads now on mobile, before people used to be able to see 7 lines of text. Now they've shrunk that down to 3 lines of text. So you're getting a little bit less space there as an advertiser. You can still write more and people can click see more to see everything that you wrote out there. But they're definitely limiting that too. So a lot of big changes. There's a huge political side of Facebook ads that's going on right now that I'm sure everyone kind of knows and has heard about. That's one of my big surprises this year, especially is kind of Facebook coming out and saying they're not going to do any kind of third party fact checking when it comes to political ads, kind of saying, they're going to let people like Donald Trump say things that might not necessarily be true about other politicians and about his campaigns and all these fun things. So there's a lot of big debate there, especially going into the new year now. Twitter came out and saying they're not going to be doing any political ads. So that's a huge looming thing going on right now. The government, Congress, everyone has their eyes on Facebook and what they're going to do kind of in the future with all of this privacy, all this data, and all the politics going on there too. So bunch of great stuff for everyone.
So, Tony, I feel like I'm overwhelmed, and so first of all, Judy says that you rock. And also Jessica says you could talk 30 plus minutes, just ad changes this year.
Yeah.
So I want to know, so we're getting close to about 5 minutes. I just want to know, how do you keep up with it all? Do you have a place where people can go where you update, okay, this ad changed, a Facebook group or anything? Because that's a lot of information.
Yeah, that's a really good one. So since I'm working with fairly big budgets, we have a Facebook rep. So I can meet, I meet like every 2 weeks with a Facebook rep, and they kind of will tell us what's coming up next. I also, have made a huge network on Twitter and all these different places. So I'm kind of seeing updates and things that people from Facebook are posting or other media buyers might be hearing. So there's just a big network that you're just sharing a lot of information. You're getting things rolled out to certain advertisers and not other ones too. So that's another thing too, where you might hear about something coming out. And I talk with Amanda Robinson, AKA the Digital Gal, a lot. And we're sending each other different screenshots because we have like different layouts in our the different things that they're rolling out. I might have it first, or she might have it first, and then I'm like, what does it look like? So there's a lot of that goes on, and then there is kind of Facebook has like different blog posts of things that are coming out too. So it's kind of looking everywhere and seeing what's happening and who has it when, and it's fun.
No, it is
on your toes.
Between you and Amanda, you guys have ads on lockdown. Like, I just feel like everyone should probably hire you guys to do all their ads. So you have a Facebook rep. I love knowing that. So have they maybe given you some information for 2020 and what's in store that you can share? Or if you can't, what should people focus on when it comes to ads? What type of ads, that sort of a thing?
Yeah, so they've shared quite a bit of new information that's coming out there. A lot of new testing. They kind of sometimes push things that they want us to try to do for them to see if it works or whatnot. But definitely kind of across the board, kind of the automation side of things is really going to be huge going forward. So instead of creating 5 different ads, now you can go in and make one ad and write a bunch of different headlines for it, a bunch of different versions of copy. And Facebook will kind of do all of the automation for you based on the results that you want. There's a bunch of talk to on that campaign budget optimization. That's part of that too. So I recommend looking into, it's called the Facebook Power 5, and that kind of talks about the different parts of that automation. So it covers things like dynamic ads, automatic placements. So having Facebook kind of automatically figure out where's the best placement for your ads, that campaign budget optimization, account simplification, and then auto advanced matching. So that's definitely something to look forward to. One of the things that I really like to tell people going in the future, I work with a lot of different businesses, and they always want to, I don't know why, but everyone wants to do just like one big video and spend all this time on one big video. And my point to everyone is, well, what if the messaging doesn't work? Or even if you just have that one video and you try like a different color of a shirt or something in the video or whatever it might be, like all these small tests, I try to get people to change their thought process now. And instead of that A to B testing, instead do A to Z testing, so it's more about trying as many different forms of content that you can put out there, trying different audiences, and then having Facebook do that heavy work for you and optimizing on those things that are starting to work. I'm kind of double down on all that kind of stuff.
Tony, you're awesome. And we're basically out of time. So I know, but this is brilliant. So we're going to have you on the show in 2022. We're going to have everyone. And Bella, thank you. And thank you to all of our guests, because you guys are being amazing. So when Mike and I thought about doing this show, we're like, okay, they all have 10 minutes. We're going to try and add them all in. And you guys are punctual. You guys are awesome and fantastic. So Tony, thank you so much. Tony, what conferences are you going to next year? Where can people see you speak or just meet you? And then also tell everyone where they can find you, your content, everything, and hire you.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be at Social Media Week Lima. I'm going to be moving here at the beginning of February, so I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to Marketing World, but I'm going to try to be there too.
You better.
I'm going to try to go to Andrew and Pete's Atomicon as well, and I'm looking around at what's going on, all the other conferences too. So I'm going to try to go to as many as I can, but definitely Social Media Week Lima. I'll be at every other one on Twitter or whatever, responding to things that are going on there too. So, and then I'm everywhere online at Tony Does Ads, or you can just go to TonyDoesAds.com.
Awesome. Tony, you're brilliant. You're amazing. Seriously, thank you so much for being on the show. And I will talk to you. And actually, I think we set the date, March 20th. You're going to be on the show. Yes.
And thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yes, Tony, thank you. Have a great Friday, and we'll talk to you soon.
You too. See you guys.
Okay, bye. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. We are in the second hour, and it's truly amazing and awesome. We have the incredible, hey, Stephanie Lou is in the back. Oh my God, and she's wearing her holiday sweater. Oh, Star Wars, yeah. Where did you get that? Stephanie?
My husband got it for me for my birthday. So my birthday was Tuesday. And so, yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. And happy birthday, by the way. Everyone, let's wish Stephanie a happy birthday. She's incredible. She's wonderful. Stephanie, thank you so much for being here. You're on the West Coast too, but now it just turned afternoon for you guys. You guys, what is it?
Yeah. It's lunchtime. So if you hear my stomach growling, that's what's going on.
Stephanie, seriously, thank you so much for joining us and everything. And I want to know, so for those that don't know Stephanie, you should follow her everywhere. Yes. But she is the live video queen among just everything in social media. But tell us, what has changed in live video over the past year? And what has really worked for you when it comes to live video, promoting it, all that kind of stuff, and also your favorite kind of tools that you love to go live from or on?
Oh, love that. Okay. So as far as the live streaming world in general, what has been kind of the hot new thing has all been about LinkedIn Live. I feel like everyone was like, when do I get my access? Every single conference that I went to. Yeah.
Sorry, that was the buzzer. Sorry, keep going.
I was like, the buzzer agrees too. Yeah. Yes. Everyone thinks that LinkedIn Live is one of those things that they must have. And I've definitely seen LinkedIn Live blowing up. The organic engagement that you can get from that has been just really, really illuminating. Every conference that I've gone to, people are talking about it and they're doing things. And what's different about live streaming on LinkedIn versus Facebook and YouTube that I've seen is that on LinkedIn, it's more about summits. So for those that actually embrace live streaming at the very, very beginning, they're now leveraging that skill set and turning it into becoming a LinkedIn Live producer. So they're creating these online summits using LinkedIn Live, and it's just been amazing to see it actually evolve.
Well, I love that. Oh my gosh. So Stephanie, you're amazing. No, that's so wonderful. And I think LinkedIn is where a lot of people are going to put their focus for next year, especially. But I want to know from you, what are you going to focus on for this next year? Where are you going to hone in?
Yeah, where I'm going to be focusing more is probably going to be YouTube as well as LinkedIn, because I feel like that's where I could get more reach in terms of live streaming, right? There's old YouTube videos that I'm still getting views for, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the discoverability is so helpful. And plus, when you have, folks like Sean and Roberto, they're like, you need to do YouTube. It's like, I hear you, right? And as far as LinkedIn goes, I've seen just the amount of people that reach out to me at the end of conferences, at the end of summits, like that's where more of my professional relationships are blossoming as far as like nurturing customer relationships. That's where they usually find me in the Facebook group.
And so, Stephanie, when it comes to everyone else and, you know, maybe what they should focus on, like, what are your predictions for 2020? What do you think are the big things people need to focus on, or the platforms, you know, different businesses should be on? What do you think is really going to pop? Like TikTok, I think is going to continue to skyrocket and take off. But what else do you think is going to be really popular in 2020?
In 2020, when I think it comes to live streaming, I still think that YouTube is going to be one of the go-to platforms for that. Facebook still has a lot of things that they're working on that I'm just like, you need to get that out. Like everything in terms of like the Facebook, oh God, what was it called? It was like their Facebook Live producer that they had on the back burner for a while. I'm actually really interested to see what's going to come out of that in 2020. Is it finally going to be released? But if anything, I feel like more people are going to keep applying for LinkedIn Live, seeing what they could leverage there. Those that have already embraced it and that are sharing tips, like Rob Balasabas, he's definitely one to watch. Brian Schulman, Jamie Cohen, Winnie Sun, they're all sharing like things that are working on LinkedIn. And what's so surprising is that the strategies that usually work on Facebook, some of it is actually transferable over to LinkedIn. You just have to be very familiar with the LinkedIn ecosystem.
I love our producer has the scroll as Stephanie Lewis DeBomb. Just so you know, this is true. This is very true. So, Stephanie, you are also a tech guru.
Yes.
When it comes to so many things. And I think a lot of people have spent a lot of money on amazing equipment because of your recommendations and they love it. So I want to know what your top purchases were of 2019 and what you recommend for people to get. I know this is exciting.
Yeah, gosh, you know, from a live streaming perspective, like the two new things that I bought was the Elgato key lights, which are like the two ones that are facing me right now. And the reason why I love them is because they attach to my desk and it still gives me all of that floor space. For those that have been following me from like the very beginning, I used to have like that cowboy lighting setup and then it was like boom, boom, boom everywhere.
That's
So
what I
it's
have.
yeah. So just to have like space back into my office, it has been really, really amazing. But if there's one thing that I've just been geeking out for all of 2019, it's been my DJI Osmo Pocket. You
Yes.
saw it.
Yes.
You saw it at Social Media Day San Diego, and that thing is brilliant. It's like it replaces my $2,000 GH5 camera, right? Which is like this big, huge, bulky DSLR, which is what I'm using right now to go live. And it shoots in 4K, 1080p. As a content creator, that's like my go-to equipment. Any event, like I'll just show up. And it's always funny because clients will be like, that's it? That's all you're going to use? And I'm like, yeah, just wait. And then by the time the recap video comes out, they're like, what? I want one. I'm like, affiliate link for you, affiliate link for you. And like, yeah, it works.
So can you drop the affiliate link, like, you know, in here so we can guess? We want that. And do you have a page where you have all your tech and everything that you love?
I do. It's kit.co/Hey Stephanie. So everything in terms of, Stephanie, what do I need to go live stream from my desktop? What's your studio like? Or Stephanie, if I'm going to be doing a red carpet live at an event, what do I need? All of that is there. And if you have any questions, by all means, hit me up. I'm more than happy to geek out with you.
So, and Bella Vasta was like, Stephanie made me buy it. This is so true. I think we both saw it when we were at Social Media Day San Diego, and we're just like, what? Like, it's truly amazing. Judy Fox says she's seen it, and I hope she spelled it right. I think you spelled it right. I'm not sure.
It's
Judy.
funny. It's like, have you seen the DJI Osmo Pocket sighting? It's like, you will. Eventually, if you ever hang out with me, if I come across you at an event, I will have it. And it's so amazing.
So we've got about maybe 2.5 minutes left. So what advice do you have for someone that's just starting in live video, or they're hesitant about it? And because it's all about connections. And I love this. Like, I love live video because we're having a conversation with the people that are watching, as well as, you know, with you, an expert. It's so cool. And it's amazing. Jenny Newman says, please come to the UK. We need you. So yes, Jenny, let's try and make that happen. Get Stephanie to the UK. So Stephanie, what advice do you have when it comes to live video?
Yeah.
As someone just starting out?
For anyone that's just starting out, I mean, I know it could feel like really daunting if you're not used to talking to the camera, but honestly, just imagine that you're talking to your best friend that you haven't seen forever. All of that energy, all of that love, that's going to come across straight to the camera. And just focus on that. Don't think about like, oh, I'm speaking to X amount of people and taking a look at the live viewers. No, just think about that one person who's always super supportive of you. Because the fact is that when you're confident on camera, clients will know that you'll be confident in getting the results for them if they choose to work with you.
Stephanie, I think you said it absolutely perfectly. I love you. You're amazing. So can you tell everyone where they can follow you, find your stuff, Facebook group, all of that?
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to geek out like any of the stuff that I have, like tech-wise, go to kit.co/HeyStephanie. If you want to see blog recaps about the show, Lights Camera Live is the place to be. If you just really want to geek out with me and see like what's going on behind the scenes and all the funny gifts that I have of Mike Alton, Jen Herman, and Amanda Robinson, then you'll want to go to the Social Media Strategist Facebook group. And you'll know that you hit the right group because you'll see me like lounging on this beautiful Chase lounge saying like, welcome to the group.
That group is amazing. I'm in that group, guys. You need to join that group. So Stephanie, really quick before you go, what conferences do you know that you're already going to or speaking at next year so people can see you?
Okay, so first off is going to be Social Media Marketing World 2020. Hey! Yeah, so that for sure. You'll definitely see me there. I'll be rocking the stage. And then at Midwest Digital Marketing Conference in St. Louis. Yo, if you have not been there, that is the place to be. It's going to be bananas. Like, everyone that I know that is going to be there is just, we're already like knocking off the list of like, let's do this, let's do that. It's a whole thing.
That's awesome. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much. You're so wonderful. You're so amazing. We need to have you on the show in 2020 as well. Yeah. You're wonderful. Thank you again. And enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
And the rest of 2019. And we will talk to you soon.
See you.
Bye. Stephanie, you're so awesome. All right, guys. So how's everyone doing so far? We have a couple more guests to bring on. And we've got 2 guests, guys, not just 1, 2 guests for the next 10 minutes. They probably look familiar, especially if you watch the Agorapulse lives. There's one that you probably can spot anywhere with an orange wig. Oh my God, there's Owen.
Good to see you. It's like we're doing a social media lab on a different day today, Owen. Yeah.
I know.
I should be interviewing you, you know,
yeah.
Like I don't even know what to do here. You know, what do I do with the man?
You get to relax, Owen. That's the thing. You guys both get to relax and chill just a little bit. I know. So you guys, so for those of you that don't know, Owen Video is an amazing video strategist, social media marketer, everything. You need to go to him if you want any kind of advice on anything, and also working out tips. For Scott Ayers, he is the Agorapulse content scientist. He's epic. He's amazing. They have a live show on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock Eastern that's blowing up, is doing fantastic and amazing. And they actually geek out about the different tests that Scott runs. And I think he also runs some with Richard too. But all right, guys, so we have probably less than 10 minutes now because I was doing a little extra talking. But I want to know from your show, what have you learned, or what are like the top 5 tips you've learned from your show or the different tests that you've run?
Owen, you go first. I'll let you go first.
Number 1 is that your gut can lead the way in a lot of these things. You know, like there's so many times where we test an experiment and it's like Scott's hypothesis was proven correct, right? And so that should give you confidence when you're navigating social media. You know, if you have been right with us, with the studies, then, you know, you can trust your gut before studies come out and start, you know, getting real results with your social media. If you think to yourself, hey, if I do this, I think that will work, then do that. You do that and prove your hypothesis correct. So I found that in a lot of times we're right with the hypothesis. And so we want to encourage the audience, like, go out and do and share your successes with the show.
I love that. That's great. All right, Scott, you.
Yeah, I mean, we've now done 36 live shows throughout this year. We have 1 more left, and we started like the first week in January, and we've seen some really cool successes with it. And I think what we've learned from it is a couple of things. Is you got to have a consistent branded live show. I mean, for us going live, we did Thursdays at first and we moved to Wednesdays shortly after we started, but we go live every Wednesday that we can, the same bat time, the same bat channel. And I think people have gotten to expect it and they're used to it. They want to come to it. And that's really, really important. And I think too, Owen's producer, and Owen's team have done a great job at creating these crazy graphics and overlays in our live show that really no one else is doing. We're pulling in commercials, we're pulling in all kinds of stuff, and I think it's really set us apart from everybody else in our space, because it's pretty crowded in our space. I mean, our biggest peak live viewers, we hit over 200 or so on one of our last shows, and that was pretty impressive for us. And what we have found is just a free tip. Since we're giving tips today, we're hosting a lot of watch parties with our live videos. So like right now, I have 2 watch parties going on another screen, one on my personal profile and one of our social media lab group, which you need to join. And those things, we're noticing those things help us push up our peak live viewers. And that's new people that are coming over and liking our page and engaging.
Yeah, and I love it. What you guys are doing is truly amazing. And you're getting a lot of love, like from the comments and everything. There's just a lot of love going on.
It's the most wonderful time. Scott's absolutely right, though. Like having that consistency, people come to expect the show. And I like to think that people are looking forward to it. I put a lot of effort into my opening PowerPoint graphics, and I want us to all have fun together, while we're hanging out online. And so we try, like every week, we try to do something different, something sharper. Let's try this. Let's try that risque. I made a joke.
Size matters always to Owen, guys. You have to understand size always matters to Owen. Maybe not for everyone, but it matters.
You get it. So I try to kind of just have fun with it and challenge myself, as well as bringing the audience along for a ride.
So I've got a question. What has been the 3 biggest with what you've talked about on your lives and the tests you've run? What has shocked people the most? If you can think of like the 3 top ones. And I feel like recently you guys have had a couple of shockers too.
Yeah, I think the Reddit one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. We're testing Reddit. We're going to do a lot more tests on Reddit because that's something no one else is talking about. So testing Reddit ads, the CPC on it was much, much lower than the Facebook ads. And so we're testing against others as well. I think the other big one, the one that got the most watches for us, I believe was we talked about a test where we compared the reach of a Facebook photo with the link in the description versus a regular link post. We're finding that on Facebook, that one's been really hot for us. And talking about Facebook and being platform specific, those Facebook live shows about Facebook tend to do a lot better than talking about LinkedIn or Twitter or those kind of things for our show.
Yeah, 100%.
I love that. So as you look ahead, we've got about
2, but
we've got about 3.5 minutes. So looking ahead to next year, your forecast for next year, what tips do you have for live video or even in social in general? Where do you think we're going? And what platforms should people focus on?
I'm going to jump in. It's the live show re-lovolution. You know what I mean? Like love video, then live streaming is where it's at. And I don't know, like, here's the thing. I see the trends and you kind of want to follow trends, but do it your own way. And the big win is going to be creating a multicast show for your company, right? So that you've got a broadcasting arm of your company that says, here's what we do, and here's how we do it. Here's our culture, and we're here for you every single week. That's multicast, and that multicast can then be repurposed into the content that fills your social media calendar. That's the big play, right? It's not any one thing, it's all the things. And having a workflow that's built around that. So your company's not even sweating. You're everywhere on video and you're not even sweating. That's what we're experiencing right now at the Video Marketing School. We're making a ton of video. We're doing it as part of a workflow. And we're one of these companies where our people are not burned out. Our people are not, working at 2:00 in the morning. We're getting a ton of stuff done during the day and then enjoying time with our families at night. And so, multicasting, getting on platforms, repurposing onto the other platforms, boom, huge win. No one's going to be able to do that. So if you can, right, it's the few companies that are going to win.
And everyone's like agreeing with you 1,000%, Owen. Deb, Stephanie, Tony, all of that is fantastic advice. You're just a high five, that virtual high five. So Scott, we've got like 90 seconds. So what are you going to let's do this. Scott, what are you going to test in 2020 for the social media lab?
That's a good question. Right now I'm working on a couple. Then the next one that's coming out is we're doing Twitter versus Facebook ads. We've done a little test on that. I'm testing text in an Instagram image versus no text in an Instagram image. And then it's a lot of other just little ad tests. So I was talking to someone today about we're testing lead ads versus sending people to a lead page on your website. So a lot more focus on ads probably in 2020, but also just we're trying hard with YouTube's for the Agorapulse. So we started a new channel just for the social media lab where I'm repurposing, like Owen said, we're repurposing our live videos, taking out all the stuff where we talk to the audience. Because if you watch the replay, you don't really want that on YouTube, making them like a 12 to 15 minute long video from a 45-minute show. And so we're seeing some good views already from that, even though we just started like 3 weeks ago.
I love that. So you guys are both amazing and awesome. I want to do a fun 3-way show again with you guys. Yeah, no, you guys are awesome. So Owen, how can people just pick your brain and get your expertise and hire you to make an awesome live show for them and their company?
Yeah, absolutely. Go to thevideomarketingschool.com. Click on I think it's like a work with me button. There's a work with me button. You can check it out. Also, follow me on Instagram at Owen Video. I'm trying to like show all the different things that we do. And it's a fun behind the scenes look at what it means to be an online media producer. I'd love to meet you and know you and grow with you, sing songs together, barefoot in the grass.
Riding ponies and
you guys have to
rainbows.
Yeah.
You guys have to follow Owen though, because he's made me laugh harder, and I rewatch his videos sometimes a lot just because you make me laugh. Because it's hilarious.
We're laughing with you, not at you.
Yeah,
we've known each other a while, and we've always had a good time. We've always had a blast together. I've always loved your work and now what you're doing. It's so exciting to have this community that's just like on fire.
It is. And Owen, I want to know, what is your alter ego or personality that has a British accent?
Yeah. I'm working on the name. He's nameless right now, but I do have an ascot. I have an ascot that I wear with a smoking jacket.
Yes.
It's sort of this. He's foolish. He's a foolish man. And
yes.
Nigel Winterbottom, I think was.
Yes, it is Nigel Winterbottom. Yes. Is that your amazing wife there that just said that?
That was, yeah, she kind of popped in. She's like a Muppet. She'll kind of be like, she'll pop in and be like, hey, and then pop back out.
Oh my God. Tell her we said hi and we love her.
Oh, she will. She heard it.
Oh.
She heard it. We're working on videos right now, so we're having a good time.
Awesome. And Scott, where can everybody get all your amazing, I already know the answer, but I want you to say it.
Yeah, you can follow me personally, Scott Ayers, anywhere. I don't post a lot, but I have fun. But you can look for the Social Media Lab at Agorapulse Lab on all the social sites, and you can even go to agorapulselab.com to go to our website.
Awesome. You guys are amazing. We love you guys so much. I think everyone loves you guys. And you guys have a show. When's your next show?
Wednesday. We have our last one of the year, and we're kind of having some of these guys. I think we have some of these guests that were on here. We're going to do a little Stump the Expert show and give away some money to a charity. So you want to watch?
Yes, $100 to the charity of the winner's choice. We're playing Stump the Expert. We've got tough, random, weird questions for social media experts you all know and love. Wednesday at 9. And if you want to join our chat bot, then give me 5. Type 5 in the comment section right now. And Scott will go back manually and give you guys all the link.
Awesome.
So that's present partnership. That's what we do.
Awesome.
Sure, I'll do that.
I love how you're giving out jobs. I love that. Owen, you're amazing. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday. You're wonderful. And we'll see you Wednesday.
Thank you. All right.
Bye. Bye, guys. All right, guys. So I want any questions you guys have, keep bringing them because I'm loving the comments. I'm loving the love. I'm loving everything. And we want to help celebrate you. So your biggest wins, make sure you put them in here. What you think is going to happen in 2020, what you're going to focus on personally in 2020, let us know. And the next person that we're going to bring on is the amazing and incredible, my roommate on these Queenies trips that we do, Jessica Phillips. Jessica is truly amazing and very festive. I love it. She owns Now Marketing Group. Jessica is probably one of the nicest people in the universe. She's caring, giving. I don't know how she does it all, but she has an incredible agency and she's a thought leader. Like everything she talks about that, like, I think this is going to happen in social media marketing does. And so Jessica, I want to talk about dark social and all of that. And you have some
people can take me serious with it.
Oh, no, we are taking you serious. It's a fun show. It's Friday. So yeah, this is perfect. So talk about what you thought were the biggest trends anywhere across the board in social media marketing in 2019.
Yeah, the trends and shifts are, and I think it's going to continue even more so, is dark social. What I'm calling dark social, it's things that are hard to measure for brands, which means that channels are and conversations are moving more from the pages into the inboxes. So we've heard several people mention it, on Facebook Messenger and inside stories, direct conversations back and forth. But even beyond that, in groups, which we'll hear Bella talk about, she's amazing with that. But even more so than that, also just people having conversations on niche social channels. So like TikTok and some of the others that are just blowing up, which is a really hard thing for marketers and brands to get invited to that conversation. And that's the big shift, that they have to get invited. So they're trying to figure out, how can we create our own content that is something that's going to resonate with our audience and not feel like marketing, which is really causing them to shift into creating this brand identity and kind of refocusing on what is our brand personality? How can we show up in a way that people do want to invite us to the conversation? How can we get some individuals connected with us that do resonate on a personal level versus it just feeling like the brand trying to talk to others? So creating brand advocates and really focusing on their community, the clients that already love them, the community members that already love them, and their team members that could be evangelists for them and should be evangelists for them, getting them involved in the conversation to kind of facilitate and monitor those conversations. Another big shift that's happening right now and has happened throughout 2019 is that the definition of like word of mouth referrals has really shifted, because now we're looking at word of mouth as what are we seeing online about a brand that others are saying, and we're trusting that peer recommendation as if we knew these people, but we don't. So, the Amazon, I call it the Amazon effect. Like those are the things that are really complicating what online marketing looks like for brands and how they really need to start shifting into thinking about how can we create this community of belonging versus just trying to get people buying from us.
Jessica, I love, that's all, like hearing Jessica talk is like one of the best things in the world because she's just so brilliant. But really quick though, Scott says if you can wear a giant orange wig, you can wear a Santa hat. And Emric just said, put that hat back, Jessica, please.
Okay.
So
it
if
was just
Emric
getting like cut off in my shot. I have to change I'm so short that I can either get my head in there or nothing.
So if Emric says it, yes, you must do it. So Jessica, I want to know, since you have an agency, you've got a lot of clients, what has been the most successful like content, social channels, or just what's kind of surprised you about what's worked for some of your clients?
One thing that I'm really trying to get clients to get involved with is video and email. I feel like that's super powerful, and audio messages as well, but personalizing every piece of marketing that you can. So if you're communicating with a client, send them a video and email back to them. It's going to get opened, it's going to get played, and it's going to be personalized, and you're going to be able to move faster through the relationship building process versus just trying to, do those drip campaigns, if you will. Like get video involved, get something that's going to stand out and get people to notice it, but also just personalizing your ads like Tony was talking about. He's brilliant with that. Like personalizing every experience that you can, not just sending out this blanket message to everyone. Now, granted, you can use some tools that will help you do this a lot smarter. And the clients that we've worked with that have taken this approach and really just focused on, okay, we're going to create this personalized content. Definitely we want to get them back to the home base and focus our efforts really on having this strong foundational home base. So then when we are putting out all this effort into our marketing, once they get there, then the process is smooth, really having that full sales process online and a way for us to stay connected with our audience after they purchase, so we can keep them, wanting to stay involved with us and referring us on, and really looking at how can we hit them from each level that's deepening and strengthening this relationship to turn our clients into advocates. And rethinking how we used to think about even inbound marketing, really, of like always trying to get them to, give their name and email address in exchange for a white paper or download. Give that stuff away and then create an experience-based thing, whether it's a webinar or, a complete guide to something, or a calculator or a tool, or something that is really that they would pay for if they had the opportunity, but you're giving that away in exchange for their contact information. But focusing on their home base is key. Personalization is the other key. And then staying connected with everyone that you can through your community, your clients, and your team to get them involved in broadening this conversation on your brand.
And Jessica, personalizing everything, I love that advice. It's great advice. Judy Fox says, as much as you can that feels personalized is great. And even Tony Christensen, respond to all those comments on ads with the help of a GorePulse tool. It makes it so much easier. So Tony, we love you. Thank you for the shout out. And Emmerich says, looks good now. You look a lot better with the hat on. So yeah,
it does finish it off nice.
Yeah, we love it. So we have about 4 minutes or just less than that left. So talk to us a little bit about dark social and where do you think we're headed in 2020?
Yeah, so dark social, a lot different than the dark web. So what it means and how it was first defined is that it's content that's happening about your brand and link clicks that you can't track. So it was initially like people just seeing a link that they may like on Facebook and then they're emailing it to a friend, or you're clicking on the piece of content and you're sending it in Messenger. So as a brand, you can't necessarily track that. And they're saying that in 2020, that's going to be like almost 80% of the traffic that is coming in response to your brand. So it's, as marketers, and you're trying to prove your ROI of what you're doing for a business, it could be really challenging for all that stuff that you can't necessarily track. So it's really now looking at, okay, if we know that this is happening, how can we kind of facilitate that conversation or get invited to it? So really looking at, like I said, personalizing your groups potentially that you're creating, having a place for you to start to the conversations, or including people in like blog content where you're collaborating more often, so they are sharing it out and then mentioning you, or invite people to participate in the conversation by using something that is measured, like a hashtag, things like that. But then also native tools that are built in to keep people on those sites longer. That's what they all want, as we've heard from Judy and heard from Jen and everyone that's on here, is that the tools that are being built in are created for keeping people on that platform natively. And honestly, like if you look at what Facebook's evolved to, it kind of is like a mini CRM built in, where you can put labels in there. You can have people book appointments, make purchases. Your Messenger inbox allows you to do so much that it is crazy. I mean, it's like literally a mini CRM. So having some kind of CRM in place, even the things that you're using natively, but also on the flip side, having a CRM in place where you can keep that information on a customer, client, community member ongoing, that is going to progressively profile them. Because the last thing you would want is like me working with you, Jen, and having a conversation, but then next time you come for potentially a purchase or an issue with a service or product that we would have, is you get another team member and they're starting from scratch with you. People expect speed, ease of use, and frictionless experience, accessibility, because we're so used to having anything on demand. It's like Thanksgiving time, my kids were sick and I had Instacart delivering, my stuff. I had, everything just automated for me. And yes, we have that in Lima now, thank God. But, those things are what we're now expecting. So brands really need to think about, how can we meet clients where they're at, where they're hanging out, one, and then once they get to the destination that we ultimately will be making that purchase, how can we make sure that it's really frictionless for them and that everybody stays in the loop, that we can really personalize and get to know our audience members a lot more, to build that relationship with them faster.
I love that advice and everything that you said. And it's interesting. Dark social is very intriguing, but it's amazing how, like what you said with everything and where we're going, like, I don't know, it's kind of from 2010 to 2019 to like the future, I have no idea what it's going to be like. It's going to be kind of insane, kind of crazy. But so Jessica, you put on an incredible, amazing conference that if you've never been, you need to go. If you've been, hopefully you're coming back. Can you give us a quick, like 30-second sneak preview of what's in store for Social Media Week Lima and the dates for next year?
Yeah, thank you. And yes, I'm so excited to have many of you there that's been on the show so far today. So that's each year we have a theme. Social Media Week Lima's theme for 2020 is dark social. How can we get invited to that conversation? So it's a 2-day event. It's June 18th and 19th in Lima, Ohio. All the details are on sociallima.com. And the day 1 is all about what it means, how to create your strategy. And then day 2 is about the application. So we'll have amazing speakers like Jen there and several others that have been on the show, and really talking about how you can use this concept and what the changes are taking place and how you can use it on each different platform, as well as, leveling up to stay ahead of the curve as much as possible, because these changes are coming out faster and faster and faster. And it's really important that people really stay on top to, get ahead of the curve so you don't fall behind, unfortunately.
No, I love that. And so Brian says, yes, it's a must go to. He's never missed a single event. Deb put the link on there, but you can share the link where people can buy tickets and everything as well, because it's amazing. And Lima is a fun place. And Jessica is the most hospitable person I think I've ever met. She thinks of everything. So hopefully everyone can make it out. Jessica, where can everybody follow you, hire you, if they need help with anything?
Yeah, you can find me in my socials on jessicaphillips.com, or nowmarketinggroup.com is where the agency and all of our resources live there.
Awesome. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. Oh my God, you're wonderful. And we're going to have you on the show in 2020, but have an amazing Friday and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone. Have a Merry Christmas.
Bye. All right, guys. So we're nearing the end. Can you believe it? It's almost 2 hours. We have the amazing, the incredible Bella Vasta is joining us. Now, Bella is a force to be reckoned with. I love Bella because she, nothing gets in her way. She doesn't see failure as an option and she just goes for it. And I love your wardrobe, your sweatshirt as well. So yes, Bella, you're incredible. You're amazing. You have such an incredible personal story, but you're also the Facebook queen. So tell us, I want to talk about, and everything's getting personalized and everything else. And that's kind of the big theme, personalized messages, all that kind of stuff. So Bella, talk to us a little bit about what changes there have been with Facebook groups in the past year, and also any tips that you can give people that are hesitant or how to get started with it.
Oh my gosh. So first of all, thank you so much for having me here. And thank you for sending me this awesome sweatshirt a year ago, because it made it so much easier to figure out what to wear today. Although I couldn't find my Christmas hat like Jessica. I also want to say that this is incredibly hard, like rounding up the end of this, because I've been listening to all the incredible speakers here and I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. And I hope that I can still bring some new value to you guys, because so much
definitely can.
If you can see that there is definitely a trend with the dark social and with the video and everything. So to specifically answer your question, Jen, we started 2019 with a lot of Facebook group changes. Facebook was really showing us that they wanted to help make groups a really good tool for us. And I'm always really careful about kind of advising people, though, that don't have that silo mentality. So as we've heard in the past 2 hours here, there's so many different things that we can use all together. And I do believe that Facebook groups is reaching its height of excitement, of engagement, of Facebook like allowing it to help, right? But in a year or two from now, it's not going to be the coolest thing. But right now, it is so exciting and important to use it as a breeding ground. So the things that we were talking about, like I call them, hey girl messages. Hey girl, what's going on? And you slide into those DMs and you start those conversations and you make it a point to do like 5 a day, just because when you do have that launch or when you do have that ask, you already have that pump primed. And any business, any entrepreneur, any solopreneur, they can all do this. It's really easy. But what I think I would love to see happen, so I'm going to just put it out there to the universe, is that people are going to start using the things that we have access to even more. And by that, I mean those voice notes, just a quick voice. Now, I don't necessarily love the minute that we are always, confined to on Facebook, but I find myself doing a lot of video and voice messages, even on Instagram in the DMs. And so this dark social that Jessica Phillips was just talking about, I really feel like getting them out of the groups or identifying who we can contact via the groups, that safe place where we can all connect and feel warm and fuzzy and just bawl our eyes out sometimes, or just, oh my gosh, I can't believe this client. It's that safe space where we can really be free, right? And you as the owner, the leader, the moderator of the group, the admin, if you will, are really able to start identifying and breaking down people into even a smaller stream. And through those back channels is where I pray that I will see more and more of that explode, because so many people are like, they don't work, or I don't get engagement in my group. And it's like, well, what are we doing to set it up? What is that bigger goal, and how are we breaking it down smaller? Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. Bella, I think we could let you talk for, seriously, because you've got really good advice. And
Thank you.
And we've got probably about 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
And it's fun because you're the last one, and then we're going to have a surprise behind the scenes. The guy who's actually producing the show, Mike Alton, is going to join us. So,
You guys, Mike Alton is behind here making all this magic happen so that Jen can stay in her zone of genius, which you're a great host, girl. Did you hear recently that Facebook portal, which is a glorified jukebox for the past year for me, but it's been fun, is now they're saying that they're going to allow us to do live streaming on it?
No, I did not hear that, but we've been waiting for that.
I know, and I'm so excited. And I don't know if we're going to be able to do that in groups, but this is one of the announcements that I wanted to kind of mention, that I was excited to mention.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anyone else mention it in the past 2 hours.
Yes.
But I think that's going to be really cool. If you are watching right now and you don't have a portal has this really incredible camera where it just like follows you around. If I were to walk over here, it will follow me and track me. But it also is kind of like a wide ends angle. You know what I mean?
And we know exactly what you're talking about. Wide angle lens.
And I really feel like it just, 1, it captures the eye a lot more. 2, it's just more believable. And 3, the possibilities are completely endless on what we can do when we go live with that, whether it's for our brand or personal or whatever it might be. So I'm really excited about that too. And I hope that they'll allow us to do it in groups.
Yeah, Portal is something. So I talk with you on Portal, all of the girls on Portal. And if you have a Portal, it's fascinating. It's awesome. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just so easy. So that's
Stephanie Liu made me buy my Portal and DJI Osmo. So
yes. Yeah. No, Stephanie Liu, you're fantastic. You're amazing. All right, Bella. So we have like 3 minutes left or so.
Here's another prediction for you, Jennifer.
Yes,
I would love, so much like we've been alluding to this Queenies thing, and I'm just going to blow it off for anyone who doesn't know what it is. It's a bunch of us girls. It's Jennifer and myself and some others. We all get together a couple times a year. And what we did was we took our friendship that was online and we took it offline. And I really would love to see and predict that more people will start coming out of the woodwork because they're making these awesome connections, either in the dark social or in the Facebook groups, in these personal ways. We start making more meaningful connections online. Well, what are we going to do with those? We're going to support each other. And so I would really love to see almost a flip around from going from digital to analog, and where we get to just like hang out and see each other face to face. Because as you know, that's where real magic happens. And that can happen with just friendships. It can happen with networking. It can happen with your business meetups. It can happen with anything. But the minute that you have that face-to-face connection, the minute that you can, like Brian says, turn handshakes into hugs, the minute that you can look in someone's eyes and laugh and cry and cheers with them is the minute that those bonds just really get solidified. So I would love to see that also happen as a result of where our more meaningful relationships are going.
And I think, starting with Facebook groups and getting started there, like it blossoms from there. And Bella is amazing at just doing all that, basically. And so, Bella, in the last minute, can you help give some advice to people who are just like, okay, I don't have a Facebook group, or I have one, but like they started it and they're like, and they don't keep up with it. What's the best advice for keeping a Facebook group relevant and engaged?
Yeah. So I think if you already have one and it's on life support, let's call in an ambulance. Let's ask someone out there, yo guys, like we're on life support, but we're going to revive it. Acknowledge the elephant in the room. It's okay. You're human. You'll gain points for that. The next thing is you got to figure out, where is this group in relationship to your business plan? Why do you have this group? What purpose is it serving? And then reverse engineer. I'm a big fan of reverse engineering. Figure out your strategy from that and then your content from that. So everyone's answers are going to be different, but if you have a group and it's on life support, acknowledge it and then get in and make a plan according to how it connects to your bigger goals.
All right, Bella, you are so wonderful and amazing. We're having you on the show in 2020 so we can talk to you more and break down Facebook groups. But first of all, before we let you go, where are you speaking next year? What conferences are you going to so people can
I will be at Social Media Marketing World, March 1, 2, 3. I will also be at Atomicon in Newcastle in April. And then I'll also be in Social Media Week Lima, which I hope we see everybody there because, as everyone has already said, it really is just a fun place. It'll be my 3rd year going there. And Jessica really puts on an amazing show.
And the one special thing about Social Media Week Lima is the fact that it's smaller, but it's just, I don't know, it's like intimate. A bonding. It is intimate.
It's like social media camp. I mean, that's what it really turns into. Social Media Week Lima is one of the reasons why the Queenies started 2 years ago, because I met some of those girls and one was going through something and we started a group and we said, let's get together, and the rest is history. I mean, that is the epitome and a great example of what I was just saying about how you take those digital relationships analog and you make those connections that just last forever. And it sure does help at the good and the bad times of life.
No, it definitely does. And all the Queenies are going to be there at Social Media Week Lima this year. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be epic. Agorapulse is going to be there. Everyone's going to be there. So it's going to be amazing. Don't miss it. So Bella, I love the crown. Where can people find you, follow you, and hire you for help?
Yeah, just head on over to bellavasta.com. That's V like in Victor, ASTA. That's my website where you can kind of, start there. And then I'm Bella Vasta on all the socials.
Oh my God, Bella, you're amazing. You're so wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday. Have an amazing week or weekend, and then the rest of 2019. And we will see you later. Bye, Bella. Bye. Have a good one. All right, guys. So we are going to bring on the amazing, the incredible, my boss, the one that's been directing all of this behind the scenes, Mr. Mike Alton. Mike, can you pop yourself on? Yes.
Hey.
Oh my God. Mike. All right. So you know what's going to happen here, Mike? I'm going to interview you, and I want everyone in the comments to, yes, Mike, everyone's chanting Mike. I want everyone in the comments to ask any questions you've ever wanted to Mike. This is your time. We've got 10 minutes till 4 o'clock. We can go beyond. And a big thank you, really quick, to all of our amazing guests that have been joining us for the past 2 hours, and everyone's that's been watching for the past 2 hours. It's been an incredible and amazing show. You guys made it so easy for us. Mike and I were talking earlier. We're like, we got this. We can do it. Like, it's going to be great. And it really was. So
is that what I said? I think I was drinking at the time.
I know. Oh my God. So just to give you guys behind the scenes. So like we use Slack a lot in Agorapulse. And so like Mike Slacked me this morning. It was the best message I've seen from him yet, which I'm so excited for 2020. But he's like, Jen, the show is going to be awesome. It's going to be great. And I was like, okay. And it just set the tone for the rest of the day. But anyway, so Mike, let's talk about how brilliant you are, how awesome you are. But let's talk about blogging. And what are some of the biggest blogging trends you've seen in 2019? And, if you're just starting a blog, thinking about it, what kind of tips there are? And I'm totally catching Mike guys off guard here because, I knew we talked about him, jumping on the show at the end, but, I'm interviewing him. So Mike, go.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't agree to this. But let me echo what you said just a moment ago and thank all of our guests first and foremost, because they showed up on time. We did not have a tech rehearsal, and I got to admit to all of you, I was kind of freaking out about that this morning because I'm thinking if they show up and their mic's not working, their video's not working, I can't hear them, they can't hear me. This is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but everything worked flawlessly. So thank you, and thank you to all of you who've been watching. Some of you have been here for now an hour and 51 minutes. So
I know we're looking at the time.
You're so amazing. Thank you. So blogging in 2019. Wow. Well, I got to be honest. One of the interesting things about blogging is it doesn't actually change that much from year to year. It's not like social media where someone's out there pulling strings and they're trying to monetize more, or they're trying to appease user demands and that sort of thing, which is what we have on Facebook and Twitter and so on. There's a lot of balance and imbalance that's going on. That doesn't really happen with blogging per se. Now, perceptions change, some techniques change, tools definitely change. WordPress is getting easier and easier, which means it's so much easier today for someone to start a blog than it was even a year ago or 5 years ago. And I would say that one of the things that we're seeing more and more is this truth that it's better to be hyper-focused on your content, on what you're writing about, what you're focusing your business on. Now, I'm talking about whether or not you're just blogging as a part-time, full-time blogger, or you're a business and you're using blog content to market that business. Either way, the more focused you are, the better results you're going to get, which is a little counterintuitive. You know, some people would think if I limit myself and I only talk about Facebook, I'm not going to get anybody from Instagram or Twitter. And maybe that's true, but you're going to be recognized as a Facebook expert. Now, outside of social media, you know, if you're a small local business, or you're providing a service, or you're a startup, or whatever it is that you are, whoever it is that you're serving, the more you can talk about them and those issues, the better off your content's going to be. And we've seen that proven very much so this year.
And Jessica said, so true. You must focus on the home base and SEO in general. With look at Mike still doing his job, popping your comment up there, Jessica, and Fellas too. This is you know, Mike Magic Live here, like behind the scenes. And Alex Mitchell, WordPress is crazy easy compared to what it was when they released it, which is very true. So Mike, I feel like if someone were like, Mike, can you write a blog post that's brilliant in 30 minutes? You could easily do it. I feel like ideas and content flow so easily with you. Do you ever get into a content roadblock? And what do you do to prevent content roadblocks? And, you know, if someone has a deadline and has to write a blog, like how do you prevent that and just really get those creative juices flowing?
Well, the first thing is don't give yourself deadlines. Then you don't have to worry about having to face that deadline. But
Mike, do I have any deadlines?
No, you don't. I don't give you deadlines because I'm an awesome boss. But some people, sometimes you have deadlines, and I understand that. So the first big piece of advice I always give people is to try to write about things that you already know. Don't make it into a research paper, because we didn't like research papers in high school and college.
Yeah.
We don't want to do them now. Why should we? So try to choose topics that the information's already in your head. And now it's just a matter of getting it out of your head into the computer and organizing it in a way that it makes sense, that it educates somebody or entertains them on a particular topic, and it actually achieves some business results. That's usually the first big hurdle that people are running into. They're taking, instead of an hour or two to write a piece of content, they're taking 8 to 10 hours to write that same piece of content, but they're trying to go out and research statistics and look up other people's techniques, or maybe they chose a topic that they really just don't know that much about. Sometimes you have to do that. I'll be honest. Sometimes you do have to create some content for your business that maybe is not in your wheelhouse. But most of the time, particularly if you're a small or medium business owner, that information's in your head. You could answer the kinds of questions that you get from callers and people who walk into your business and who reach out to you on social media every single day. Put those questions into Evernote, start to create that backlog. And then when you have time to sit down and write, it's so much easier to just jump into something that's of interest at that particular moment, and you won't have that writer's block. I used to. I honestly don't have writer's block anymore. There are so many things that I could be writing about. If I don't feel like writing about Facebook ads today, I can write about images on Twitter. If I don't feel like writing about images on Twitter, I can write about influencer marketing or any of these other wonderful things that I pre-selected for myself as options.
Mike, I love you. And this is why you're amazing. So Deb Mitchell, pick a topic you know. And I love the fact that basically talk about something or write about something you're passionate about. You know, what you know and what you're passionate about. That'll help like really drive it. Yeah, Stephanie Lou, we love our Mike. You cannot lie. You other marketers can't deny that when a blog comes out with an itty bitty face and a real tactic that's on your face. You guys, it's been, wait, I will try that again. Stephanie, I totally like, are you going to do it? Are you going to, oh my God.
Do that again.
We love our Mike. You cannot lie. You other marketers can't deny that when a blog comes out with an itty bitty face and real tactic that's on base, you get sprung. You guys, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys, this is after 2 hours of talking, really not drinking water. And I'm sitting on the edge of my chair because I've been standing for 2 hours. Yeah. I literally had my chair, I had my knee on part of the chair just because I was like, oh God, my legs. So we may fix that. You guys are so nice, really thoughtful. All right, Mike, this is the last question.
Okay.
What are your predictions for 2020? That's what I want to know.
From a vlogging perspective or just
or social media marketing, digital marketing, anything, where do you see the universe and world going?
Well, one of the things that I do every year, and I've been doing it for about 5 or 6 years, is I do think about this because I get asked. Like I was in Ross Brand's roundup with a very similar question last week, and it's a little challenging to come up with 6 different predictions for the following year. I just come up with one. And my prediction for next year is that we're going to see more brands double down on live video. And when I say that, what I mean is they're going to get better at live video. What we saw in 2019, this past year, was some pretty prominent experts in our space saying live video is dead.
Yes.
Facebook live video is dead.
Yes,
We shouldn't be doing live video, and on and on and on. And they were poo-pooing the whole technique and the tactic. And I get it. They weren't seeing success anymore. And that's because, as per writing content, we saw content shock, as Mark Schaefer put it many years ago. And the same thing happened with video. At first, it was nobody. Like on LinkedIn Live right now, there aren't that many LinkedIn Live producers right now, and that's very deliberate and very intentional on LinkedIn's part.
Yeah.
But when you look at the overall space, there's a lot of people who can create live video right now, including myself, with a phone. This is not going to be awesome. It's going to be good, don't get me wrong, but it can't be highly produced like what we're doing right now, or even to next level kind of stuff. You just can't do it. So there's a lot. And that has made consumers very picky about what they want to watch. They know they don't have to watch somebody's amateur video from a phone when they can go to a brand and they can see some really good stuff. They can, see Jada Smith and all kinds of other people creating really, really good video content on social platforms. And as brands come to realize that, they'll see, oh yeah, maybe it's not the volume we should be worrying about. Maybe it's the quality.
Oh, it's so true. Quantity versus quality, or quality versus quantity all the time. And I think when people are cutting the cord more and more, they're watching more on social channels. They're watching more video. And it's truly amazing. And I love this. Look at Mike just jumping right into yes, well done. Eugene, I'm glad you stayed till the end. And Eugene, are you in Atlanta? I think you might be. And Tony, let's see. Tony, you have a link. And I forget what that link is.
To the Ross Brand. Yeah, we'll look that up.
Yes.
Look up that in the comments.
Yeah, we'll give you the link, Tony. And Mike, everything you said, yes. I think, not everything works for everyone and every brand. You have to find your audience, the time of day, what kind of content they like to consume, and kind of work from there. I think everyone tries to do everything, but it is quality versus quantity, and focusing. If your followers and people engage with you more just on one solo social channel, like concentrate majority of your content and everything on that. And I mean, you can also grow to others, but kind of start a following and gathering somewhere, and then it'll blossom from there. So I don't know, that's my 2 tidbits. I don't know, Mike, but I think for me, I'm going to say this really quick for 30 seconds. For 2020, I think the voice activation, the smart Alexa, that's going to be big. LinkedIn Live is going to be big. And like everyone's saying, all this personal, the relationships and personalizing everything is so important, because there's so much content out there that if, personalizing it will actually make me open something, will actually make me purchase something or do something. So those are my big things. We're trending toward that personalization, relationships, which is what social media should have been in the first place. And I feel like we kind of, lost it this past decade toward the end, but now we're honing back in on everything. So, that's what I'm saying. And I'm forecasting that Social Post Weekly is going to be better than ever in 2020. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So for everyone that's watching, seriously, thank you so much. We love you guys. You guys are incredible. You're in Noonan. Okay. Fun fact about Noonan, Georgia, really quick, Eugene. It's known as the Tornado Alley of Atlanta, because you tend to get more tornadoes than any other area surrounding Atlanta due to the elevation. There's some higher elevation mountains, just a little bit, kind of hills that allow the storms to actually, spin. Anyway, that's it. But we should get together, Eugene, because that's about an hour from me. All right, guys. So this was not our last show of the year. We did the roundup a little bit early, but next Friday is it. The last show with the incredible, the amazing Jay Baer. We're going to have an epic conversation. And he gave an amazing presentation at Content Marketing World about how, voice activation and using Alexa, utilizing all that is going to really be the future. So we're going to talk more about that and how you can get involved next Friday. But for now, happy Friday. Cheers. And thank you so much for all of our guests that joined us and for making it amazing. Eugene, we're going to make it happen. You guys are all wonderful. We love you. Make your weekend amazing. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. But we'll see you next week, next Friday. Bye, guys.
It's Social Pulse Weekly, brought to you by Agora Pulse. With a slew of